Hi, Lincoln Fillmore here at the state capitol. This is in my office. We're at just a brief break. I'm going to be heading back to the Senate floor in just a moment, just to continue the legislating and lawmaking we do here. But I wanted to take a moment to talk to you about the affordability of housing. For about 4 years, I've been the chair of the state's Commission on Housing Affordability, which means it's my privilege, if you phrase it that way, to be highly involved in the state's housing policy. And as the designated person to sponsor legislation on the housing policy in the state. That's really important to me, this issue, because, I have a family picture here, right? You can see my 2 young kids there. One day, I want both of them to be able to afford to buy a new home. But I know that if my 10-year-old was 25 today instead of just 10, he would not be able to buy a house in a way that I was able to do at that age, because just housing has just become so expensive that we have the first rung on the home ownership ladder is basically missing in Utah, so that young families starting out are not able to buy a home, at least not as early. And so that means that we're delaying family formation, we're delaying having children. That's having an effect on our school age population, on our economy in the immediate and especially in the medium and long term. The price of a home, like the price of anything, is really a question of supply and demand. And at this point, we have a lot of demand for new homes in Utah. A lot of people moving in. We're an attractive place to live. We've always had a higher amount of kids in our world that are now growing up and looking to buy homes, but the supply of our homes are restricted. And so what we're looking to do is to open up the market so that the private market can come in and address this issue from a supply problem to bring supply more in line with demand and have pricing reflect that equilibrium. I don't want to get too wonky about that, but it's really personal to me. I'm really trying to find ways to increase the supply of housing. So this year, I'm sponsoring 5 or 6 different bills on housing policy. And just to give you a little bit of a flavor about some of the negotiations that get involved, Senate Bill 191 is a bill with several policy changes, the most interesting of which deal with garages. This was a product of at least 8 months of negotiations to get agreement on this simple concept. A 2-car garage counts as 2 parking spaces. If you can believe, it actually took 8 months to come to agreement between cities and home builders and other property developers and counties on that, what seems to be a pretty simple issue. It just gives you a flavor of how complex this issue is. We're taking steps to make homes more affordable by building defining a certain kind of affordable home that's below a price point, so that cities would not require such a house to have a garage when it's first built. We can probably knock about $50,000 off the price of a new home that way. And that might open up new doors so that new homeowners can get into a place. It wouldn't have the convenience of a garage. Instead, it just might be uncovered parking in the back of the house. But it can be a way for people like my son or maybe your children or grandchildren to be able to buy their first home, start building equity, start building credit, paying that off, and then moving into the second home and the third home, the way that those of us that are my generation are older have done in our lives. We want that American dream to still be a reality for the rising generations. And that's why I'm working so hard on housing bills. I'd love to have your feedback. You can find all the housing bills under my name at the legislative website. Just search bills by category or by sponsorship. And I'd love to know your feedback. If you have any, leave comments under this video, or you just shoot me an email or a text message, or give me a call. My contact information is on the screen. And thank you so much. I really appreciate your feedback.